all the online gaming stocks that have taken a beating, a battering, if I may, in trade today. And that's because the GST Council announced that the bets placed in online gaming and casinos will now face a 28% tax, 28% GST. The tax on online gaming companies would be imposed without making any differentiation based on whether the games required skill or were based on chance. India's finance minister, who's also the chairman of the GST Council, Honorable Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, said that the decision to levy maximum tax on online gaming and casinos was not intended to kill the industry. But given the quote-unquote moral question, it cannot be taxed at par with essential commodities. The All India Gaming Federation, AIGF, which represents companies like Nazara, Gamescraft, Zoopy and Windsor, said that the decision will wipe out the entire Indian gaming industry and lead to lakhs of jobs being lost. And now, let's understand the real impact of this particular move. What does it mean? We have the CEO of All India Gaming Federation, Roland Landers, now joining us here on the broadcast. We also have my friend and colleague Kartik Malhotra joining us here in the studios as well, helping us understand what all this means. Roland, I'm going to begin with you. Talk to us. On one hand, you have the online gaming industry crying foul, saying that, quote unquote, this is the end for us, whereas the others turn around and ask the same question. Is it right for them to demand the same level of taxation as an essential commodity?
Yeah, so thanks, Krishna. Just to give some context to the impact across the ecosystem. As you are aware, the ecosystem is made up of the game developers, the gaming companies, and the consumers who are the gamers themselves. Now, as far as the if this new methodology is implemented, then the impact is across the ecosystem, starting with the consumer. The the cost for him or her to participate in a game gets increased by 3x or 300%. Also, the impact on the gaming platform will be a whopping 1100%. The movement of valuation from GGR to the face value, as indicated in the press con yesterday, and owing to which it will so happen that the GST value that a platform pays would be higher than the platform revenue.
Roland, stay with us. We also have our friend and colleague Kartik Malhotra continuing to join us here in the studio. Kartik, thank you so much for taking time out. There are two things that I honestly want to ask about. One is the fact that these companies, some say that they tried very hard to approach state governments to get their way through. But then this is a way of the finance ministry sort of keeping a check on the entire validity of this business by taxing it at the right way. They've identified this as a sin tax, like a tax on alcohol or a tax on cigarettes, isn't it?
Absolutely, Krishna. And I think there is obviously some sort of a parity that the government has tried to draw here, like you mentioned, between games of skill and games of chance. Now, many financial experts out there are pretty much saying that even investing in stock markets, for that matter, could be a game of skill or a game of chance. So will that be the next thing to come under the taxman's or the taxwoman's radar? That does it then make sense to even tax, let's say, every 100 rupees bet that you're putting, informed bet in some cases, on stocks? Should that also be taxed at 28%? So, so that is one of the issues. I think not a real issue. I think that is more conjecture than a real issue.
Yeah.
But I think somewhere it's also emerging that states like Goa and states like Sikkim are now being brought through casinos, are being brought into this widening of the tax net per se, and getting some revenue for the central government and the state governments through this sin tax that you mentioned. Now, Roland, my question really is, while your industry has obviously taken a bit of a beating and many are calling this as the death blow to the gaming sector per se, I think some concerns that have also been raised is this fear of gaming companies setting up their headquarters outside the shores of India, and this would, instead of widening the tax base and tax collection for the government, actually aid in siphoning off Indian money outside the shores of India. Are these concerns valid?
Not valid. None of the the members of the AIGF have, and not to my knowledge, any of the Indian companies who are not headquartered here. Now, coming to while you brought up the subject, parallelly we know that there is a large offshore illegal gambling industry thriving in India. In fact, the advisories that came from the MIB to stop their advertising uh, happened during the IPL and before that also. Now, when I mentioned about the impact on the gamer, what will inadvertently happen, it's not the intent of anybody, but what will happen is when the participation amount by a gamer goes up by 3x or 300%, obviously he or she would seek opportunities in these illegal offshore platforms and companies, and hence there could be this movement, because those people are not under the ambit of this jurisdiction, and neither do they pay any taxes.
Okay, help me understand this calculation of 3x or 300%, because my understanding is that there is a 20% outgo. For example, if you were to get into a platform and play with 100 rupees as cash, now straight away 28 rupees from that gets deducted as GST. You're left with 72 rupees to play, and if you happen to win, then there is a TDS of another 30%. Number one, is that the correct way to understand the implication for the gamer? And then what is this 3x calculation? Can you help us explain, perhaps with the same example of 100 rupees?
Yeah, so what happens is when there is so as you rightly said, 28% goes off, and so the ability for a gamer to participate while and as you know, the platform fee is an average of 10% for the company, right? So what is left for the for winnings, right, for the gamer? In this case, it has been put on face value. So that means that every time there is a participation, what the gamer has the opportunity to win is reduced, by that much percent. So in other terms, the opportunity for the gamer to participate and win is decreased by that much percent, or increased by 300% or three times. The same value, 100 rupees, would fetch him participation in a game, would now, three games earlier, would now fetch him only one game.
Understood. Got it.
Right. I have to ask you a very simple question, Roland. One is that there is online gaming and there's online real money gaming. And that's where I think the problem seems to have erupted. And you've seen online real money gaming companies run into problem with state governments. For example, online real money does, get classified under gambling. The MeitY department of the government has worked very hard to drive a difference between them. But the fact of the matter is that gambling is a state subject. So hence you have Tamil Nadu, the state of Tamil Nadu, taking it up as an issue and wanting to do away with the online real money gaming. There's online gaming, there's online real money gaming. And then you've seen that happen with Telangana as well. They have pushed back these companies. And now you're finding these companies being pushed back in the form of this GST taxation. So there is that morality question that is hanging over the industry.
Yeah, so just to clarify, Krishna, so the online gaming industry is the overall horizontal. The pay-to-play side of gaming, which is about 80% of that market. So when we look at the whole online gaming industry, skill gaming industry, obviously, the 80% to 85% is the pay-to-play side of gaming. The rest could be free to play, and games that are showing in the background of your channel, which are video games, which can also be which have certain revenues that are in-app in nature, and some are led by advertising as well. So now that is the whole log. Over the last 1.5 year, you're absolutely right. We had the opportunity to to work with the government, and I must mention that we had super support from the government in this movement for the scale gaming industry from the states to the center, and that is why where we are of having a nodal ministry in the Ministry of IT Electronics, and the setting up of the SRBs to self-regulate this industry as it was already being done, but now under the aegis of the MeitY. So all that support that has come from the government, we believe that if this can be re-looked at, because that is why the impact is necessary on across the ecosystem and the stakeholders therein. If there is, we are still hopeful that this can be looked at in a progressive regime manner, so that the objective of increased taxation can also be achieved, and the industry also get a chance to continue to grow and reach its potential.
So, Roland, what is your specific ask from the government? At this stage, we know what the government has proposed and pretty much likely to implement. Do you have a specific ask, a specific amendment in mind which you think the government should take heed of?
Not as such. I mean, we the teams are looking at every angle, but GGR, or the platform fee, rather than the total face value, is what obviously we had the opportunity to make representations and continue to ask for
So, talk to us
as
specifically
as a
about.
valuation.
Okay, so talk to us specifically about platform fees. What is the average platform fee? How is it charged? Is it charged per month, per subscriber, per game? And therein, what is the kind of GST outgo that you think the government should consider?
So, with platform fees are, you can average it out at 10% for the service provided, and that would be on the total participation in the game.
10% of what?
Of the participation in a game. So there are continuous games, there are other types of games. So let's say all of us participate in a game. So whatever is the participation amount in a game, the revenue for the service provider is 10%, an average of 10%.
So you're saying the consumer should not be liable to pay any GST. Platform providers who take a revenue by way of platform fee, which is roughly 10% of the participation value, that should be charged at a 28% GST. Is that my broad understanding of what you're trying to say?
That was what was also recommended in the GOM report, second report.
Okay. And what about the TDS of 30%? Now, the government has also been constantly trying to arrive at the right way to tax online gaming. Now, on every winning, there is also a 30% TDS.
That is applicable on the players. Yes, it is.
Okay. But right
that
now,
consultation happened with the industry, and that was what was proposed, and it was also suggested and put into practice.
okay, and this, of course, I'm understanding is net of losses, right? So you can offset your losses by gains, and therefore, this 30% is going to be on the net amount and not on every gross winning.
It is on a cumulative net.
Yes. It's on a cumulative net, right? Got it, Krishna?
Right. The only thing I want to ask you is that, Roland, you've seen the news come out, you've seen the reactions. How much of an impact do you think it's going to have on the demand levels for online real money gaming? And online gaming per se, as you were talking to us and telling us, 80% of the industry is online real money gaming and the rest is non-money gaming. So talk to us about the impact of a move like this on the industry.
I think, within the media entertainment sector, the online gaming, in the last 5 years has been delivering, a CAGR of in the excess of close to 30%, or in the excess of that. And, today it is a $2 billion industry, and it was estimated to reach double by 5 billion by 2025. So I think as far as the online gaming industry itself being a preferred destination for as a source of entertainment for gamers, I think that would remain intact. This is more for the business economics, and I've already mentioned the impact across the ecosystem at the outset. So I think we are yet to see, but I think it should be, as far as the being a preferred destination globally and in India also as a form of entertainment, I think that will remain intact.
All right, all right. Roland, stay with us, Kartik. The way we've seen the taxation evolve on online gaming, I'm only reminded of what happened with cryptocurrencies. So the TDS, when TDS was levied on cryptocurrency transactions and cryptocurrency gains, there was huge criticism on it at that stage. But the fact of the matter was that it was a sort of a pressure release valve, if I may, of all the pressure that was building in crypto and all the people who were going to crypto. And in fact, after that move, crypto transactions crashed by 60%. That's what happened after the TDS move into crypto came about. I mean, we'll have to check as to where they are today. Yeah. But similar kind of an impact is what I thought would happen with the online gaming industry as well. But I think it's interesting to see how government is treating the online real money gaming the same way it treated crypto. Try to catch in on it through taxation.
That's right, Krishna, except I think the difference being that in the case of crypto, there wasn't any GST, because I think implementing GST on crypto would in some way have made crypto legal in India, and crypto continued to be on the cusp of neither being called as a legal asset class or money, and nor was it technically illegal to trade in crypto. So it kept hanging in the balance on that fine line of being between legal and illegal,
and
definitely frowned upon,
and
continues. So, and I think the second difference there was that you would be taxed 30% on any gains that you made by way of trading crypto, but those gains would not be offset against losses. So, a 30% on every gain you share with the government, and the loss is all yours. In this case, I think what Roland was also clarifying, that this is net of losses, so it is your income cumulated against your losses. So overall, I think the online gaming market has not been dealt with yet as harshly as the crypto market was dealt with. But in the retail participation, we've seen the stocks of 3 out of the 4 big gaming companies listed on Indian bourses tumble today. In fact, companies like Delta Corp have hit the lower circuit down as much as 24% or so. But again, if you were to take this conversation back to Roland, I want to understand from you, Roland, now what are the options available? Because gaming and the sin that is associated with gaming, rightly or wrongly, I'm sure you would feel wrongly, the sin associated with gaming and the kind of addiction that gaming is compared with, does it leave the gamers, the real players out there, with too much choice? I mean, it is not easy to junk away a bad habit overnight, or a good habit for that matter. And are they going to find solace in any other sort of platform or entertainment avenue?
I think, if you look at the numbers, today there are about 400, and this is as per the EY FICCI Frame report which comes out every February, March. There are about 450 million gamers, right? And this is across the horizontal, and that number is estimated to grow to about 500 million. Now, this is as I mentioned, and this is not me saying. I mean, these are people like Ruchi Sharma and all, saying in their annual forecasting that these are gaming is the preferred destination globally for people as a form of entertainment now. And that is true for this market also. And as you know, India is a mobile first market. The coincidence of the industry, although it's 10, 12 years old, the growth story has severe coincidence with the Digital India initiatives about 7 years back. And it's true for the industry as well. I think that, as I mentioned earlier, I do not see a huge impact, yes, for the listed companies, since it's a economic direct impact on the revenues. It is showing in the listed company stocks. But as a destination as a preferred destination within media and entertainment, I don't see that changing. But yes, we will see how this plays out. We are still hopeful because of unlike other industries, we've been getting this support right till now over the last 1.5 years to actually bring online gaming under a nodal ministry, which itself is a big thing. And so we are hopeful that this will the support will continue to the industry.
Okay, to your mind, what really led to this 28% GST levy? You're saying that that there were positive signals that you were getting from from the GST Council, from MeitY. Was there any expectation of any kind that the 50th historic GST Council meet is going to deal such a blow to the gaming industry?
To be honest, there was, just to take a step back, there was a GOM that was formed in 2020, and then there were some changes in the state cabinets, which saw some new people come in, some new states come in. The second GOM was also set up, and we had the opportunity to meet with all of them to showcase the impact and also global best practices on how some of the other jurisdictions, where these distinction between games of skill exist, and how they employ valuation on the indirect tax. So all of that was done. Now in the GOM second report, although there was no consensus, but the summary does say that 28% on the platform fee or the gross gaming revenue. So the impact from 18 to 28 on the so there are two parts, right? The amount of tax and then the valuation. So the amount 18 from current levels to 28, as suggested in the GM, is a 56% increase, which the industry which was suggested. But the impact of moving from platform fee to face value, that impact is 1100%. See, so I mean, you all evaluate industry sectors, and I do not know of any precedent of any industry trying to absorb or buffer that kind of a upside.
So,
Right.
since this is part of the media and entertainment sector broadly, Roland, does it feel a little unfair that another entertainment avenue, like let's say going to the movies, is taxed at 18% of the ticket price, and in this case we're talking about 28%? And if I were to also, before you comment on that, I'd like to seek your comment on that. But one more point which is running through my mind, if you were to, let's say, compare online gaming with offline digital gaming, like let's say the PlayStation or the Xbox or the kinds, and when you were to go to the market and buy perhaps a DVD or a like of of that game, I don't know how it is today, I haven't played a game in a while, but if you were to purchase a game online or offline, what is that taxed at? Is that also taxed at 28%? Because in that case there could be some parity between online and offline digital games.
Yeah, I'm honestly, I have to check on that. But on the exact valuation for offline, but yeah, for the I'm sure there is parity in that. It would be in the
So
highest
then would it
bracket.
be unfair, is my question. Then would this taxation be unfair if there is parity?
Yeah, but the thing is that there is this entire settled jurisprudence on a distinction between a game of skill and chance, and that is showing in the direct taxation part also on the TDS. But in this case, they've clarified that even though it is a game of skill, it is 20%, not 28%. That so that rate part, I think, as recommended in the report also, is not the huge impact. The huge impact is really on the methodology of the valuation of putting it on face value rather than on the platform fee, because that 10% is what the platform's revenue is. The rest is the participation by the gamers, and
But
that
isn't
goes
that the
back to
case? But Roland, wouldn't that be the case, let's say, even for a movie goer? You buy the ticket, the face value of the ticket is 100 rupees. You pay GST of 18% on the face value and not technically on the earning of the theater provider, PVR, for example.
Yeah, so that is some of the discussions that we've had when the representations were made. That are exactly some of the examples that were given, and we had the opportunity to explain that. And that is, I think, in the other forms of gaming that have been clubbed with online gaming, which is horse racing and casinos. I think those examples were also considered. You're right.
Okay.
Right. Roland Landers, the CEO of All India Gaming Federation over there, joining us. I'm afraid we've completely run out of time here on the show with that discussion. But Roland, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us here on Business Plus on News9 Live and helping us understand all about the online gaming industry. We will continue to track the story and all the further developments. But for now, Roland, thank you so much for joining us. And of course, thank you, Kartik, for being with us, helping us understand all about online gaming and the new taxation on it. It's a wrap here from my side. This is Krishnakumar signing off. Keep it with News9.